Well, good morning. So, Kaden came over twice, and he'd never ran a lathe before. So I set it up for him using the duplicator option in a freehand fashion. He was able to make 4 different knobs for the conductor's batons. And here's how they came out. These are his own designs. And you can see that each one of them is different. Okay? There's 4 different woods here. There's mahogany, black walnut, hard maple, and then the practice one, which came out pretty good, it's the first one he made, is rubber wood, and it has an antique pine stain on it. So he's still in school, and this is the last week of school, and at the end of this week he wants to give batons to his band director. He's a senior, so he won't be in school after this year. This band director has been his director throughout his high school, and she's helped him immeasurably in crafting his skill. And I can put a little clip in here of him playing his trumpet in the school band.
Kid of mine will be playing Contemporary Suite, and he got a bronze at districts. Now, that playing for you is by no means a requirement. It was just an opportunity, because I know a lot of parents aren't able to make it to that stuff, and it's fun to actually get to play for an audience. So, following Kaden, we'll move on to the band portion.
Sorry about the air conditioning.
At any rate, I'm going to go ahead and finish them up with him because he's out of time. This is the last week of school, and he wants to give them to her at the end of the class. So I'm going to go ahead and coat these with a tung oil finish. Hand rub finish. And I'll put, I don't know, 2-3 coats on it, something like that, so they have a sheen. And it should be plenty hard enough that it won't rub off while she's using it. I'll also be finishing up to make the dowel portion of it, the wand end of it, and getting those installed. Well, let's do this rubber wood part, the first one that he made, the trial run. We'll go ahead and coat it first. Okay. Okay. Now we'll do the hard maple. Mahogany. And the black walnut. He liked this one especially because it looks like, you know, the behind of a bee. Got that little point up there. It's pretty delicate. Okay, so we'll let those set. And then we'll have to lightly sand them and put the next coat. We'll build them up with coats, and I'll let you see what they look like. Oh, probably be another day or so before I can get all the coats on it, because they need to dry out pretty good before I do it. But anyway, it's a start. Now let's work on those dowels. So for the pointer end, the dowel end, what I have is I have a length of 3/16 inch diameter dowel. It's a hardwood dowel. I believe it's supposed to be a hard maple dowel is what they sold it to me as. And I need to taper it from the end that goes into the knob to the other end. I'm going to do that on the lathe. I've installed a chuck. The chuck will not hold a 3/16 inch. Okay, so I've put wrapped masking tape around it to hold it. And I'll go ahead and affix it in the lathe. Chuck. And surely I've got enough on there for it to hold it now. Yep, that's secure. Okay. Now the other issue is the other end can't flop around. It has to be held. So what I've done is I've taken a piece of the off-fall that he had from the walnut piece he made, and I bored a hole in it 3/16 inch in diameter. Now, okay, that fits in there pretty good. Okay, but to make sure that it doesn't heat up, I'm going to take and put some wax on the end. Okay? Oh yeah. That's good. Now, let me move that in. Bottom it out and back it off just a touch. Okay? Gonna lock it in place. Okay? Now when I turn it on, it's still going to whip a little bit, I imagine. It runs pretty true. By the way, I picked the straightest portion of the dowel that I can find for this. I'll turn the speed up. Okay. And now I can start sanding on it to taper it from here up this direction. And I'll stop just short of where it comes out of the chuck. I had never turned a dowel this long, this thin, so I had to come up with a way to do it, and I showed you the tailstock a while ago, what I did with that, but then I didn't have a cutter. Couldn't figure out how to cut it, because anytime you touch it, it flexes. And as small as that is, you have another problem, and that is that it rides up on the cutter, and then, well, it just splinters and breaks to pieces. So what I came up with was to use sanding paper, and didn't take too long. All total between the four that I turned, I think I probably had 30 minutes invested in it, so it wasn't too bad. But anyway, what I did is I took sandpaper and started in at the smallest end, sanded on it the longest, and worked my way up and tried to figure out how to, you know, spend a little bit less, then a little bit less, and then a little bit less time as I worked my way back up the shaft. And I ended up with a decent taper on them. They seemed to come out pretty straight. Using that block helped quite a bit, because I did most of the cutting with the 80 grit. But anyway, got all those shaped and parted them off there, and I think they came out pretty good. These wands need to be white. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover them with a coat of white primer. This is an oil base primer. It may take 2 coats, I don't know. But once I get it on there, then I can take and sand it kind of smooth after it's dry. And then I can put the seal coat over the top of that. So just paint out of the lid. And let's see how this coats. Yeah, it's probably going to take 2 coats. Okay, well, I got 3 coats of white. That's 1 primer and 2 finish on the wands, and the handles have 4 coats of that Formby's tongue oil on them. They should be dry. They're supposed to be 24 hours, but I'm gonna say in the morning. They'll be dry enough I can do final assembly. And the black walnut. This wand for the black walnut is thinner on the end than any of the others. I wanted to make it a little more dainty. It's, I don't know what the balance idea is with these. Whether you want to have the tip heavier or balance at the fingertips, or I really don't know. I'm not an expert on them. But it will definitely give it a feel, different feel than the others. Because this is a very, very lightweight handle. Knob. It's a tight one. Okay, so I'm going to go back and wipe the glue off. Just a damp paper towel. Paint is dry, so there shouldn't be any real issues with smearing. And that should get it. In a few hours, they'll be set up enough that I can get them to Kaden, and he can then present them. Mahogany, maple, walnut, and rubber wood.
The ducks are coming.
So my grandpa and I made those. That's why your baton was missing, by the way. So I kind of lied to you earlier about where it went.
I've been looking for that baton for 2.5 months. I thought I was going crazy.
But now you have 4 more.
Oh, it's mahogany.
This one is walnut, which is actually made in the same way that my whole deck is made of.
That's cool.
My grandpa made it. He all made these. And this one was actually the practice one. That's a good thing.
I was fluttering mouth quick.
Have you noticed your instinct?
I know, like, Bailey introduced me to the. Oh, yeah, the project.
That's not her.
That's also very darn cool.